Namaskar, children. I welcome you all to explore chapter 4 circles. This chapter you will see in your textbook in page number 95 to 104. Let us explore this chapter. Before exploring this chapter, I am going to share you an incident that happened in the morning. Zohra Khanum, she is my friend daughter. She called me in the morning and she started asking me few doubts. She told that she is able to define if someone asks what is a triangle and what is a quadrilateral very easily, but she couldn't explain what is a circle, or she couldn't define a circle. For that she needs help from me and she is asking, aunty, please help me regarding this. So I told Zohra, we will do one activity. From this activity, you are going to understand what is a circle. What you have to do is take a sticker packet of small size circle shaped stickers. Put one sticker on the surface of the table or on a plain sheet. Take a needle or take a stick of some length. Don't change the length of the stick. Now start pasting the remaining stickers from a fixed length, that is equal to the length of the stick or the needle. At the end, what you are going to get, you try this activity and call me after 10 or 15 minutes after completing this activity. Then Zohra called me after 15 minutes and she started telling, aunty, I got the answer for this question. I pasted one sticker and I started pasting the remaining sticker at same length from that sticker without changing the length. When I completed that pasting of points, I got a circle. I came to know that the points that formed a closed curve are equal distance from the point that I pasted in the beginning. So then I helped her to define circle. In the same way, few of you may have doubt that what is a circle, how to define the circle. Let us watch this video, children. See, this is what activity I told Zohra to do. The red point is the beginning point, that is fixed point. Then I took a stick of 3.5 unit length and I started pasting all the sticker which are equidistant from the red point. When I completed one rotation, I got this figure. This is nothing but circle. Yes. Then what is a circle? In mathematical sentence, if we define the circle, what is a circle? Let us see this sentence. Circle is nothing but it is a planar figure which is formed by the collection of all the points which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the plane. This is circle. Or we can also tell the definition of the circle like this. Circle is the locus of a point from a fixed point. This you have learnt in the previous standard, but we are just recalling it. It is the path traced from a moving point from a fixed point. Now you are clear with the definition of the circle. Let us recall few terms related to circle along with how we are going to draw this circle. See, if we don't have pair of compasses, we use the thread and the pencil and we draw the circle, or we may use a circular bangle, or we may use a thread and a fixed point like wood. You can observe that in the picture, and usually we draw the circle using pair of compasses. Now we know how to draw the circle. Let us recall the basic terms related to the circle, children. Okay. Yes. Observe this picture. you observe the red point and we call the red point as correct center. You can observe that 3.5 units length, the distance between that blue point and the red point, that fixed length is called as radius. Yes, you are right, it is called as radius. And the path traced by the moving point, when we are doing that activity of sticker, we observe that the path traced by the moving point is called as the circumference of the circle. Yes, that red line is called as the circumference of the circle. Now, I am going to give you some incomplete sentences with a picture. You recall those terms and try to answer these incomplete sentences. Okay. First one, what do we call the point O related to circle? Yes, we have already recalled. Once again we are repeating, it is nothing but center of the circle, that is the fixed point of the circle. Next, OA, the distance between the center and any point on the circle is called as right. It is radius of the circle. Next, BC. BC is the distance between any 2 points on the circumference of the circle, or we can call that as the line segment joining the any 2 points on the circle. It is called. Next, DE. DE also the line segment that joins any 2 points on the circle. It is also called, but there is a special thing in it. It is passing through the center. The chord is passing through the center and we call it as, yes, you are right, it is diameter. Next, if I take a part of the circumference, if I consider part of the circumference, this is very important during construction. What do we call that? GF, the part of the circumference. Yes, you all are right, it is an arc. Related to circles, we have recalled these terms. So, next we will recall few more concepts related to circles that we have studied in the previous class. Then we will start learning the terms and the concepts that are in this standard. Okay. How many radii can be drawn in a circle? Observe this video, children. Yes. First, if we observe, we think that only one radius can be drawn, but if you observe how many points are there on the circumference, that number of radii can be drawn in a circle. The answer is infinite number of radii can be drawn in a circle. Correct, children. Let us recall one more concept which relates the diameter and the radius. We know that the chord passing through the center is called diameter. It is made of 2 radii. Hence, diameter is twice the radius. If you observe in all these example, when I am going to change the radius in all the example, you can observe that diameter is twice the radius, or we can say that radius is half of the diameter. Yes. Next, one more important thing that we have discussed regarding circles in the previous standard is its segment. What is a segment? Observe this video. The part of the circle bounded by a chord. If you observe here, I have marked 2 points and I draw a line segment. That part of the circle which is bounded by chord and an arc is called segment. Here, if you observe, the length of the arc is less, we call that as minor arc. When the length of the chord is changing, the length of the arc is also changing and the part of the circle is also becoming larger. Yes. Now, if you observe, it is 2 equal halves. Now, if you observe, the shaded portion is more than the unshaded portion. Now, let us recall, what do we call the part of the circle which is bounded by a chord and minor arc? we call the part of the circle bounded by chord and arc as segment, but if it is bounded by minor arc and chord, it is minor segment. Yes, you are right. And we know that it is very easy to remember major segment, because in the major segment we observe the center. Always center of the circle lies in the major segment. The part of the circle bounded by the chord and the major arc is called as major segment. Then what is a semicircle that we have observed in the video? Yes, if the chord is a diameter, then the circle is divided into two equal halves and each region is called as the semicircle. Yes, so this is one more thing that we have learnt in the previous standard, and it is very important concept related to circle. Then what else we are going to recall related to circle is, observe this picture. Here, do we call this as segment? No, it is already mentioned, this is not a segment, it is a sector. Then what is the difference between the segment and the sector? Segment is formed by a chord and an arc, but if you observe here this is the part of the circle formed by two radii and an arc. Yes, the part of the circle formed by two radii and arc is called as sector. Okay. If you observe, there is an angle between the two radii. If that angle is 90 degree, then circle is divided into 4 equal parts and each part is called as quadrant. Yes, so we call this as quadrant. This is also a sector. Now, one more thing we observe when we draw a circle, we observe the fixed point and the yellow region of the circle with this blue line. Yes, this total is called as circle and the yellow region of the circle is inside the circumference. This is called as the interior region of the circle, and the region outside the circle is called as the exterior region of the circle. Yes, so that blue line with this yellow part is totally, it is called as circle. The region inside the circumference is called interior and the region outside the circumference is called as the exterior region. So, if I tell you to mark a point inside the circle, means you are going to mark the point in the interior region of the circle. If I ask you to mark a point outside the circle, you are going to mark the point on exterior region. If I ask you to mark a point on the circle, you are going to mark it on the circumference. For these things, this concept is very important, children. Now, observe this video. Here B and C is the chord, its length is 6.4. Now, I marked the point, that is the perpendicular distance of this chord from the center. If I go on changing the length of the chord, you observe that as I move the chord towards the center, the perpendicular distance is becoming less. When it passes through the center, the perpendicular distance is exactly 0. As it moves away from the center, again the perpendicular distance increases. One more thing we can say, as the length of the chord increases, the perpendicular distance decreases. As the length of the chord decreases, the perpendicular distance increases. Yes. If you observe here, I have drawn two chords of same length. If you observe in this video, all these chords are of equal length, and if you observe the perpendicular distance between these two chords, they are equal. We can say this as equal chords are equidistant from the center. Okay. We have recalled so many concepts related to circle. One more concept that we are discussing or recalling here is, observe 6.77, 6.77. BC and DE are the two equal chords. If you observe the angle subtended by these two chords, the angles are also equal. By this, we can say, observe the video, as the length of the chord changes, even though the length of the chord changes, both are equal chords only. They are subtending equal angles at the center, children. In a circle, equal chords subtends equal angle at the center. This we have learnt in the 9th standard. Okay. Next, as we discussed that the perpendicular distance drawn to the chord. In the previous video, we discussed about the length of the chord and the distance of the chord from the center. But now observe, when I draw a perpendicular line, how I can know that this is the perpendicular line? If you observe the angle, it is 90 degree. AD is the perpendicular line drawn to BC. If I go on changing the length of the chord also, you observe that the perpendicular line is bisecting the chord. That is the observation you have to make, and you are observing it. The perpendicular distance drawn from the center to the chord is bisecting the chord. Yes, this is also you have learnt in the 9th standard, but we need all these concepts to understand the circle chapters in this class or in this standard. For better understanding, we need all these concepts, children. Okay. Now, think, I am giving you one activity. There is a circle on a plane and there is a line in the same plane. What are the possibilities related to the circle and the line? Think, what are the possibilities of a line and a circle in a plane? Watch this video, children. Watch this video. Now, the line and the circle, they are not related. Now, as the line is moving and it touches the circumference, as it enters into the interior region, it is intersecting the circle at two different points. Again, the distance between the intersecting points is becoming decreased and now it is touching the circumference. Now, there is no relationship between the line and the circle. Now, you can observe it touches the circle. Now, it is touching the circle or intersecting at two different points. Now, there is no relationship between the circle and the line. Now, it is touching the circle at one point. Yes. Then, what are the possibilities we observed with this video? Let us discuss. Possibility 1. Here, the line BC and circle, they no way they are connected. Yes, circle is also there on the plane and the line is also there on the plane, but they no way they are connected. Relation between the circle and the line BC is they are non-intersecting line. We call the BC as non-intersecting line. Next, possibility 2. If you observe, as the line enters the circle, it is meeting the circle or intersecting the circle at two different points. Yes, at D and E, it is intersecting the circle. The line BC is intersecting. Now, the line BC is called as secant of the circle. Related to the circle, BC is called as the secant of the circle. This is possibility 2. One more possibility we have observed. What it is? Yes, as the line move towards the circle, the line BC is touching the circle at only one point. That common point is F. Yes. Now, the line BC is touching the circle at only one point. Now, it is called as tangent to the circle. Yes. Now, BC is called as the tangent to the circle and the common point where the line BC is touching the circle, that is F, is called as point of contact. Now, you are hearing a new word, tangent. Where it comes from? It is a Latin word and it is derived from the word tangere, which means to touch, and was introduced by the Danish mathematician Thomas Finke in 1583. So, then tangent means to touch. Yes, it is touching the line is touching the circle at only one point, hence the name tangent. Observe this video, children. Now, the secant is moving. As the secant is moving, the distance between the intersecting point is decreasing, and at some point the two intersecting points becoming only one point. Yes, this is the special case where secant is becoming the tangent. Now, observe, if I trace that path, you can observe that at point P you can have only one tangent. Yes, how many tangents that can be drawn at point P? Only one tangent can be drawn on the point P. That is, in general we can say only one tangent can drawn on a point on the circle. This is one observation we made related to tangent. One more video we will watch, and what is your observation? Record it, children. Now, here one more secant is there. Yes. Now, I am drawing lines parallel to the blue line. For blue secant, I have drawn on either side, I have drawn parallel lines. Now, I am moving the secant, maintaining that property, that means those lines are parallel to the blue line. If I move on like that, you can observe that you will have only one tangent parallel to the blue line on left side. Now, when I move like the same way, you can observe that only one tangent is parallel on the right side of the blue line also. That means, by this video we can conclude that the tangent to a circle is special case of the secant. As the distance between the intersecting points becomes less, then it is no more secant. When the two intersecting points coincide on one another, then it is no more secant, it becomes tangent. Yes. And one more thing that we have observed in this video is only two tangents are parallel to a secant. For a secant, we have only two parallel tangents. Yes, for the blue secant, we have these two red tangents parallel on either side. Yes, only two tangents are parallel to a secant. These are the daily life example for the tangent, children. When you ride a bicycle, the wheel and the path traced by you, that wheel, if you call the wheel, the boundary of the wheel as a circle, the path traced by riding the cycle forms the tangent. And these are few pictures that are example for tangent in our daily life. And now, I stop this class here and I give you two activities. You have to do this activity and you have to record your inference. That inference is the beginning of my next class. So, what is that activity? Construct circles of different radii and mark any point on the circle. You have to construct circles with different radii, construct circles of different radii and mark any point on the circle. You have to construct circles with different radii, draw a tangent at that point. You have to draw the tangent on the point that you have marked, draw radius at the point of contact and measure the angle formed by the radius with the tangent. You have to record your inference. So, the activity will look like this. This is one example picture. I am showing how I marked point P on the circle and I have drawn the tangent. You have to measure the angle between that radius and the tangent at point of contact P. Okay. So, one more activity I am going to give you is Draw 3 circles. You have to draw 3 circles. Mark a point inside the circle. For the first circle, you have to mark the point inside, that is in the interior region. Mark a point on the second circle. So, you have to mark the point on the circle, that means on the circumference, and mark a point outside the third circle, that means on the exterior region of the circle. Now, draw tangents to the circle from these points. Try to draw the number of tangents that can be possible in that points. Find the number of tangents that can be drawn. What is your conclusion? You have to record your inference. Okay. These two activities you have to do before watching the next class, children. Okay. Let us learn one more thing. This you are going to learn in the chapter construction, but it is very easy to do the activity. You have to learn this construction. I am going to show you how to draw or how to construct tangent at any point on the circle.
Construct a tangent at any point P on a circle of radius 3 cm. First step is to draw a circle of radius 3 cm. With the help of scale and protractor, we measured 3 cm. With center O, we are drawing a circle O. Now, I am going to mark a point P on the circle. We know it is very convenient to construct on the right side of us. So, I am marking the point P on right side to me. Now, join O and P. OP is the radius of the circle O. With center P and taking the same radius, that means 3 cm, I am going to draw a semicircle. This semicircle intersect the circle of radius 3 cm at point X. Now, without changing the radius, with center as X, I am going to intersect the semicircle at Y. Now, without changing the radius, with center X and with center Y, I am going to draw two arcs such that the two arcs intersect each other at point Q. Now, join P and Q with the help of line segment. PQ is the tangent drawn at the point P to the circle O. With the help of scale and pair of compasses, these are the steps you follow to construct 90 degree. Why we constructed 90 degree at point of contact P? Think, children. Also measure the angle formed at point of contact P between the radius OP and the tangent PQ.
You have watched the video, children, and you learn how to construct the tangent on a circle. So, points to be remembered at the end of this class are the main or the important points. In a plane, if a line and the circle have no common points, the line is called a non-intersecting line with respect to the circle. This we have observed. And one more thing, in a plane, if a line and the circle has two common points, then the line is called secant with respect to the circle. In a plane, if a line and the circle have only one common point, then the line is called tangent with respect to the circle. The common point to the circle and tangent is called point of contact. Only one tangent is drawn on a point on the circle. These are all the observation we made in this class, and we have to remember these observation. The tangent to a circle is a special case of the secant. It is obtained when the two endpoints of its corresponding chord coincide, and only two tangents are parallel to a secant. You have to do this exercise, homework exercise 4.1. You have to try the examples given in the 4.1. Let us meet with the inference that you have drawn for the activities in the next class. Till then, goodbye, children. Myself, Srimati Sucheta SS, mathematics teacher, T. Dasarahalli, Bengaluru, North 4. Thank you, children.